with our opinions.
That's all that matters.
That's going to have to be the new slogan for BookStara. United by our t-shirts, if not by our opinions.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we are here, and we are all ready with our beautiful BookStara shirts, which I know that I did say a while back I was going to try and figure out how to do that for our wonderful BookStara people.
Life.
But life has happened. It's never off the table. Yeah. Never off the table.
You can just be envious of how glorious we look in our shirts till we figure the fuck out. Can you tell I'm delirious?
Yeah. Yes. How is everyone doing? I'm very excited to have BookStara. Wait, I'm very excited that we're doing our live show already this month.
Me too.
We've got Paige and Danielle here, and everything is linked in the description box below, I think. Make sure well, everybody here should, well, they may not know, but if you aren't part of BookStara Readalongs and you're just kind of curious what's happening here, the links in the description box down below. Figure it out.
If anyone's here from Neva Sprints a couple of hours ago, Amy has still got the brain cells going. If you're new to Amy's channel, this is BookStara. We're a book club where we read books every other month of the year. And this year we're doing 2 lots of trilogies. And this is book 2 of the Foundry Side series, Shorefall? What? Shorefall! I spoke in Big Latin again. Shore.
Or Falshay.
Your additions are so much prettier.
Yeah, they really are. Yours is not pretty.
Mine is ugly as butt. Some butts are attractive. This is not.
Yeah, that one's not. That's not attractive. Yeah, thank you so much, Paige, because I don't think I'm doing a very good job with using my words right now.
It was beautifully done.
You mean what Paige did?
No, what you did.
Well, I'm excited to see what everybody thinks. I know that we're going to have differing opinions, and that's great because it'll give us different perspectives. That's actually perfect. I think that's for the best. So, where should we start? Maybe start with initial thoughts and review? Or rating?
Let me just refer back to my brain because, like I said, 10 books ago.
Give this a rating?
Oh, okay, excellent. That was the last one I read. Last one I wrote my review for.
I don't think I actually wrote a review.
I gave this 5 stars, which surprises nobody because these characters have just nestled into my heart and I am not okay. And if you would like to be entertained, there is a photo of me sobbing on the Discord, and I needed to go acquire emotional support ice cream at the end of this book.
How did I not see that photo?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going.
It's on the
Oh, I've
the
seen
last
that.
chapter.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So I was in my feelings, and that is a book that usually gets a higher rating from me. Because if I cry, even though I cry at the drop of a hat, it still does the high.
Yeah. I rated it 4 stars. Straight 4 stars. I'm trying to remember what I rated Foundry Side. What did I rate Foundry Side? How come I can't spell Foundry Side?
Pretty sure you get Foundry Side.
4.25 stars.
5.
So just a little bit less than I liked this one just a little bit less than Foundry Side. And there were good reasons for it that I think I've talked about in a vlog somewhere. I have so many things I've filmed recently that I haven't even come close to posting or editing or anything. But there was a reason why this one I didn't love quite as much as the first one. And hopefully we'll tease that out as we start talking about things and all that I'll remember. Because, thing a little bit wooden today.
Hello.
I almost cried, but for different reasons.
Oh dear.
I gave it 2. I was ready to DNF after chapter 18, but I wanted to stick it out because I wanted to be able to talk about it. And yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to hearing some of your feelings on that for sure. Because I didn't think you'd like it.
And I'm super nervous about not liking it and about
No.
being, that
It's all
voice.
good.
But yeah.
It always makes discussion more interesting.
Okay.
It's no stress.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel stressed about that.
Okay.
That's not what we're here. We're not here to judge. We're not here to criticize. That's not BookStara at all. If it is, then we got a problem. We got to fix that problem.
Fair.
So Leanna's having to miss this, but she'll be back. And we're happy to see you on the replay, Leanna.
Hello.
Sarah's here. Hey. And rated it
Sarah.
4 stars. I love these characters, but was too confused with all the Valerian Crusade stuff.
I
And there
think
was
Tara
love.
rocked out this book like this week.
They did.
Yeah. I know, I was quite impressed.
I was cheering her on.
Yeah.
They
You can do it.
I posted in the Sufferathon Discord that they needed to read a translated book, like just the group. And Tara's like, I need to finish Shorefall and the language of scribing. Does that count as a translated book?
Yes. It's another language.
You've got this. I think some people were confused by it. Like I said, if you can't converse fluently in the language, then that's one that would count. And so I was like, yeah, feel free to proceed. You've got a deadline, UG.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too. This was way more technical than I thought it was way more technical than the first book. Paige, I liked what you had said though. You said that it was way more philosophical than the first book.
I did say that.
Yeah.
I actually felt like I understood the magic better in this one, which was why I was so aggravated when the whole invisible wall scene happened, and I was like, I can't picture this at all. I can't even picture what's happening right now,
I found I was too busy pissing myself laughing at the image of also just felt like
hanging.
So I wasn't really thinking about the science behind it. I was just pissing myself laughing at the mental image I have of this old guy like stuck being like,
or like wasn't he sideways at one point too? So
yeah.
He'd be basically just floating in the air. And people would just see him floating in the air, but he can't. That scene was very confusing at times. As far as when they kept talking about how you could get stuck. And I'm like, what exactly is getting stuck? I don't understand where it's getting stuck. Is it getting stuck because of, So
yeah, and Claudia had made
such a big deal
about, Claudia had made such a big deal about like, don't fall down with this, don't. Yeah.
The reason why I didn't struggle to imagine this was in year 6. My mum made me a Halloween costume that was SpongeBob the SquarePants out of a cardboard box, and I was in the cardboard box and I got bullied until I got pushed over. And so I actually have been in that situation where I was stuck and I couldn't get up. And so it was just like, oh yeah.
Oh no.
So I was just like, oh yeah, this is bringing back. Yep, no, I completely understand how this functions because I have been in this situation before.
Wow.
Thankfully not with water involved, but yeah, it was just because the way, and because little me, I had so much leg and not a lot of, I'm still the same. I'm not a lot of torso. I'm mostly leg. And so it's like my balance is I've got too much limb and not enough body to lift myself back up. So, yeah, I had no issues imagining that one, but that's through
Wow.
lived experience.
Oh, poor Paige. Oh, yeah, that was very, they're, you know, it was very silly. Like, it was very fun and silly. I thought that, it seemed like a comedy of errors at that point, especially like being piggybacked, right? You know, getting Orso piggyback, right? And on the give and take between those two, which I thought was really cute. That was a lot of fun. Let's see. Hi, Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Good to see you. So where do we begin?
But
I mean, I
also
know
we're
we
saying
went
that, yeah, like
Right.
Claudia had gone in detail to say don't get stuck,
Mhm.
and to then get stuck and then have to resolve it. It's like,
Well, and wasn't there like there was water involved, right?
He was gonna drown.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
and it was coming through. How I imagined it is like when you put on a cardboard box, you've
Mhm.
got the base still open for your legs to go out.
okay.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
when you fall, you can't then manipulate your body upwards, but things can still get in from the base, which is now open at the side.
So it had a top on it? It wasn't just 4 iron walls. It was 4
I think
iron walls and a top?
that's how I envisaged it.
I thought it was just like a walls, like you were like sandwiched.
Oh.
What I didn't understand though is it didn't really explain to me like why couldn't you're falling over to your side. Why couldn't you just reach up and pluck that thing off your shoulder and boop, it's gone? Like,
Well, that's what he ended up doing, didn't he?
I don't remember.
But he had to like manipulate himself around because he couldn't quite reach it.
Okay.
And then he finally got it and hit it, and that's when he popped back, and then he could keep going.
Because he almost drowned, like he was getting to the point where he was going to drown.
Yeah, that's why I felt like it had a top on it, because wouldn't the water have just gone straight through?
Yeah, then maybe. Well, he was on his side, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So it could have come both ways, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Actually, it would have been filling up. It would have been filling up this way.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Doesn't make sense.
Maybe that's why Danielle couldn't picture it.
There are so many room for interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we basically have a child, literally a child, and that's why that was where all that misplaced confidence was with Crusaders, was that he's a child.
Oh.
And his behavior was definitely like, when we found out he's a child, like I was like, okay, that makes sense. And you could see that a child like that would not understand the consequences of all the things he's doing. He's like, they don't have the prefrontal cortex fully developed. He never fully developed his prefrontal cortex. So when we got that explanation, I was like, makes all of Crusaders makes a lot more sense.
Rolling balls of human flesh, like it's all making sense now.
But Valeria, like, what are we supposed to do with her?
Let him read the third book?
Oh, I guess that might be it.
Are we having middle book syndrome?
I think if that is a possibility, like.
I mean, it was implied that we shouldn't trust her, right? Since the first book, totally implied we shouldn't trust her.
Yeah, Sansa and Berenice were like constantly having conversations about, and even once they could have their internal conversations, like, oh, hey, I'm glad we can talk about this now because I don't trust Valeria. Do you? No, me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, and so are we saying that Valeria is still, well, she's clearly not trustworthy, right? Like, that's where we've gotten.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I don't even think she has, like, the conscience like, or the morality to, like, that's not even a factor. She has, like, her mission, like, what she was programmed to do, and, like,
Well,
I think she will do whatever she's got to do. But then in the end, she wasn't doing what she said she was going to do. She didn't.
Right.
She didn't destroy scribing. She didn't destroy herself. Like, I don't. And I acknowledge that may be still coming, but I don't
because in
know.
her mind, she still has to destroy Crusaders first.
Oh, well, yeah.
But
But
now we've
then
got the city
also-
we became.
Yeah.
Oh, Gregor!
No, that control yourself, little blonde lady. Oh my gosh. Ooh, no. No. They did Gregor so dirty.
Mm.
I can't even. No. Just no. No.
The internal battle.
I'm no longer Gregor. I'm no longer Valyria. I'm Trevane, and I'm the city, and I'm gonna smash some shit up.
Yeah, why can't they give poor Gregor a break?
I don't know.
And I don't want him to be a city. I want Gregor to be Gregor. I want Gregor to get a break. I want Gregor to go on vacation.
Gregor deserves a vacation.
Yeah, I want him to take Paulina, and I want them to take a boat and sail off into the sunset and, like, be okay and, like, do some healing and, like, you know.
Because there was a point that it mentioned that he was the only one in their group that would be able to do the thing without it having negative consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the way that he is structured and his scribings. Like, there was a point where it was like, if it was to be with Sancho or Bernice or also even, like, their knowledge was too great and it would just mean the end of the world. Whereas he was still ignorant enough that if he merged with her, it wasn't going to be as catastrophic. Still catastrophic for him, but not as for everything else. Like, there is a way of coming back. And I also think that we've always seen this nugget of humanity within him throughout the entire series. And I'm holding on to that nugget and praying to all that is holy in this series. Because I feel like that's where we're going to get.
I hope you're right, because I need Gregor back. Sorry, my mother's making all kinds of noise over there. Like, and I'm just afraid other kinds of noise are going to happen. Anyway.
Morning, Mama Shazza.
Everybody says hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
I remember the part where where they said that if Gregor were to bind with Valeria by taking that pill or what have you, which that's what he did, right? Ultimately, that he would be completely merged with her and would be unable to detangle with her because of his brain thing, you know, his thing, his scribings. That they wouldn't be able to separate their personalities ever enough to. But why would that be the case if he just poops out the pill? Doesn't that break that, like, once that?
Yeah, because
that was poop out these pills, they're not going to be connected anymore. Nobody's ever thought about that. I thought about that quite a bit.
Well, there's a hope. But, like,
this collective mind. Huh?
How does this?
That's true. I know, because he doesn't. Where did his freaking body go?
He got merged.
What do you mean? They gave him red eyes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Which I was disgusted about as well.
But what actually happened to his body? Where did it go? He left, didn't he?
He left, yeah.
No, he got blown up. No, Orso got blown up.
No. Still not okay.
Sorry, should we have started somewhere a little more?
My soul.
Let's just talk about all the big things. Sorry. Okay, let's see what everybody says. Stacy's here. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Tara said, is Valeria also a child, maybe Mercedes' sibling?
Please, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tara. That was not directed at you. It was directed at the author who just does crazy, stupid shit and smacks a story together. And then we're just supposed to accept it.
Danielle's feeling smacked.
I'm feeling sad.
Speaking of Gregor, there was a part right when he was stabbed with the twinning thing where he was talking about remembering a kiss. No, he was talking about Sanchia's and Berenice's first kiss.
He was having, Sanchia's memory.
He was experiencing their first kiss. Weird and awkward. Yeah, it was funny because, like, the first twinning with Sanchia and Berenice was so extreme, and then you get Gregor, and then you get Orso, and it's all
It
kind
could
of
have all
like,
got real freaky deaky. Why didn't we just go that direction? You know? I mean,
not that kind of book.
I mean, some of them quotes.
Could have been. We need Gregor and Orso back. Ugh. Yeah, can you believe that? In the last, 10 pages of the book, Orso gets blown up. Gregor is whatever Gregor is.
Ophelia died.
The city of Ophelia died. Mm-hmm. And Clef's the bad guy now.
No, he's not. No. Mm-mm.
I mean, technically.
No, he's not.
Oh, okay.
Is Clef the bad guy?
Clef's the one that started all this.
Yeah.
He's his
dad.
son.
Yeah. Nah, he can't be a bad guy. It was done in the name of love.
We got some Star Wars stuff happening.
Not inaccurate. But, also my point stands.
Mercedes,
That
I am your
was the only thing that made me stop crying was we didn't see the body.
Oh, yeah. But how do you say Clef's long name? Clavides?
Clavides.
Clavides?
Yeah. That's what I call him. I call Crusaders. I guess Claviades, then I would call him.
Clavides.
Claviades.
Like varieties.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see it so I can jog my brain from the audiobook.
Oh, yeah. Do that.
Claviades. Claviades.
Clavides.
Nah, I got it.
So, Paige, you think Orso might still be alive?
Yes.
Even
I
after
have to hold on to this because otherwise I still wouldn't have stopped crying.
And he was bleeding out, wasn't he?
Wouldn't have stopped crying.
We don't know.
Needed to stop crying.
He was already really unwell.
But he was still linked with everybody else. So maybe he can draw strength from their, strength and not die.
Remember, the further away he gets, the less.
Yeah.
Nothing is too far fetched, Amy.
So that's how you really feel, Danielle.
Oh, I can't keep it in.
My jaw dropped when Mercedes said Papa.
Papa?
Yeah. And that's that. I was just yeah. And if I think back to all of his behavior, the fact that he wanted to share everything, I was like, this kid, he's acting like a child who has a lot of power all of a sudden, does not know how to properly use that power, is ruled by his emotions. And yeah, no, it totally made sense. We kept it kept going back and forth. I'm like, wait, then who's this and who's that and that. He's not dead. We can only hope, Danielle. So we're saying that Clef is not the bad guy because we love Clef, but technically he's the reason for all this.
Yeah.
But who were the Hierophants to begin with? Like they were enslaved. It wasn't like they were the head of anything to begin with. So how did they get this technology? How did Leviades get this technology?
In the vision
Mm-hmm.
where we saw Clef and Crusaders when they were still human and Crusaders was so sick, Clef goes to this like secret hiding spot and he digs out the casket that Valeria was in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we still don't know. Like, do we know for sure that he was the one who like made her?
No. Where would he have gotten all the... I need more backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we got...
Right. Huh.
That's one of the really hard things about this book is that you walk away with more questions than answers. And yes, hopefully we're going to get some answers that are satisfying in the book to come. But yeah, it's pretty tricky.
Yeah, because there was just it's still unclear. Do we know Valeria? So Valeria wants to wipe out humanity because she wants to wipe out. She wants to wipe out all scrivings. But then she'd have to wipe out the people that know about scriving. So like all the scrivers, that they couldn't create scrivings, right? So she's basically also having to wipe out a whole bunch of people.
Or she would just have to somehow take scriving from their memories. But like, I'm also thinking about back to what we were previously saying about Valeria, and like she kept calling Crusaders the maker.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make sense.
But he wasn't the maker, it was...
Right.
Clef.
Technically it was Clef, right? But she should know the history more than anybody.
Unless
right?
she's doing that intentionally.
Or to mislead.
Which, wouldn't be surprising. She hasn't been honest this whole time. I honestly kind of figured that she would have a bit of a better understanding of humanity after being with Sanchian and Bernice and Orso and all that stuff for as long as she was. But I guess if you're not human yourself, you just can't really understand it. Or like the importance of what this little found family had and what they were exhibiting. Like, I thought it was an interesting philosophical discussion. Like, what really is the value within humanity? Like, what are the good aspects of humanity? What is important about humanity? And why is that something that should be saved even when it is so ugly at times? When I thought that Sanchi and Berenice and Orso were great examples of why humanity is important. And I really did think that Valeria was at least going to see that and be swayed in some way.
I think for her, because her coding is you have to do it this way, regardless, it's like, well, no.
But she went rogue anyways. Like,
I wonder if there is in some way some form of... How do we know she hasn't overwritten her commands? Because like with previous examples, as you change, as you see things, you aren't the person that you once were. And I know that she's like a mechanism, but what's to say she hasn't changed enough to be able to rewrite her own?
Mm-hmm.
And we just haven't seen it because she was very much misleading, and we saw the sides that she presented first.
I mean, she is an editor. Sanchi can change a lot of stuff too. So if she's more powerful than Sanchia.
The basement scene sort of got me thinking on that. Because I was just like, there's a lot of manipulation here that
totally
makes my brain do a wibbly wobbly.
She was very manipulative.
So I'm like, who's to say that she hasn't changed it to now suit whatever her means are to keep herself alive? Because she's realized she doesn't want to end everything. She just wants to end everyone else.
I was thinking that too. Was she kept saying that she had this plan that she had to follow, but she also went against everything that she did already, or that she was supposed to do. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe she's kind of like, okay, I got a taste for this power stuff, and I think I'd like to be alive, and then I could be in charge of everything, and I'll make it look perfect in my what I believe to be a perfect.
And that I'm still following my code.
Right. Denial.
Because I think I've read a few books this month that have a similar sort of theme of who's to say that your truth isn't true, even if it goes against what everyone else is saying. If you wholeheartedly believe something is true, then for you it is, even if it's wrong for everyone else. And so there's a lot of that dynamic at play where we don't know. Words are so subjective and you interpret your own meaning from them. So the more that you grow and you learn about these different things, the more opportunities you have to be able to manipulate it and twist it to the way that suits you best. And you can still believe in what you're doing for the greater good.
Right.
Even if it's not, because you've convinced yourself that it is.
Right. Which is what Crusaders did. Like, that was definitely, like, from his perspective, especially when we found out he was a kid, I was like, okay, I can understand that he doesn't quite have the capacity for that. Valeria doesn't have the same instincts that humans have, but she has enough intelligence or access to intelligence that she should, I don't know, maybe I'm giving her too much credit. Or giving her too much humanity. I don't know.
And I think that's where the series is, as Danielle says. You're leaving with a lot more questions than answers, especially for this book.
Well, and I'm curious about this whole Tavane, whatever the name of the city is called, thing. So my assumption was that Gregor was going to link with Valeria, and they would be sharing a brain. They would be like sharing, twinning, which is exactly what happened with everybody else. Nobody could take over anybody else's brain. It wasn't like they could just they completely wiped out the other person. Maybe they could have, and we didn't. We just didn't see an example of that. But it wasn't like you could actually wipe out that other person. But it feels like the city has wiped out the majority of Gregor and Valeria, and it's just the city that's taken over this brain. There doesn't appear to be any, like, all three of us are in here together. Because Tavane would have to be, this city.
One of the things that very, very much frustrated me, like, that's like a perfect example of like the lack of consistency with the magic. Like, why is there all of a sudden a new rule?
Yeah, that was one thing I was curious about. I didn't understand why the twinning situation worked, because Sanjia has a brain plate and nobody was able to change her. Is it so I'm curious about that. Like, why the three of them, because Tavane is, obviously the city because of Valeria being inside of the different, kind of like the mountain, like, right? Tavane's kind of like the mountain, but from the city. Based on all the things. Foundries. Found what are those things called? Foundries. right?
Yeah.
Well, not the Foundries, but yeah. So I guess I kind of was a little, maybe like Danielle, kind of surprised by that it wasn't like there were 3 minds sharing. It was like all of a sudden the city just completely took over, and there's no Valeria, there's no Gregor, they don't have a voice at least at this point. So that was very interesting, but maybe frustrating also. And I just didn't understand what happened there. So maybe that's something we'll find out in the next one, because then I'm like, well, where did Valeria go? Because we even heard a little bit of Gregor at the end, but we didn't hear any Valeria at the end. So I'm like, well, where is she then? Who's actually, how come the city's in charge? And I'll be curious to find out. And I'm hoping that gets more explained in the 3rd book. I really hope that gets more explained in the 3rd book.
So I've just had a quick look because I was wondering if there was like something that, yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid. And it says some people or places. A genius loci is a location within a mind, a sentient planet, country, island, or city. Obviously, this is more common in science fiction and fantasy. Usually the genus loci has some control over its own form and uses the control to communicate with other characters. Alternatively, it can trap them and torment them with living memories, and it can be a hive mind.
Because we kind of got the hive mind with the 4.
Yeah, you know, whereas this is their way of merging, because Valeria isn't a brain.
Mm-hmm.
She is a construct. So her construct has to come from something which is sort of like the city itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's all been made. Mixed with the humanity of Gregor is where I'm sort of tying those two.
Because I guess I kind of likened Tavane to the mountain, because it was like its own creation from all these foundries across the city.
Yeah. And it had all the different layers to it, whereas the mountain was more built on itself within itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, it had its like 6 core like lexicons, and now Tavane has all the lexicons that are like spider-webbed, networked like throughout the city. So I guess that's where we're getting that influence. But
and because Valeria was able to spread herself throughout all of the lexicons because of the previous twinning,
mm-hmm.
to her power,
that they didn't want to happen.
Because she was contained to the one in the basement originally, but then that was designed to be able to go into the other campers, which is then it's now extended beyond itself. So that's where I sort of had that drawn to be the city, because Valeria was already part of the city.
Because I kind of just got the vibe that the city was like, oh, screw Valeria, screw Gregor, I'm taking over. This is mine now. That's kind of what I got. That's the vibe I got. But, I mean, we kind of ended pretty quickly there, so we didn't get much more from them.
Yeah, I think Gregor, said like, oh, I'm something new now. Like I'm not myself anymore. I'm something new. And it's like, okay, like, did the magic go wrong for somebody? Like, this is like something that wasn't anticipated. Like,
well, they did say that that was one of the reasons why Sanchia was so pissed at Valeria for sticking that capability in her head, because she said, if Valeria had, I forgot about that. If Valeria had twinned with Sanchia, then she could have taken over Sanchia completely because of her scribing.
Valeria had made the backdoor access.
Okay, but nobody had backdoor access to Gregor.
Because Gregor had removed his twinning from them before he twinned with her to make sure that she wouldn't be able to have access to them.
Right, but she still had access to him.
Yeah. But she could take over like his mind, and I think they sort of just fought to be this conglomerate. Whereas if it hadn't been, he was still twinned with Sancho, Bernice, and Orso, then it would have been.
She would have been able to get into Sancho's little brain.
And with all of her capabilities.
Yeah, I don't like the conglomerate. I don't want that. I
Hopefully
don't want
he'll
that.
poop soon.
Come on, Gregor.
Somebody get that guy some Miralax.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, so wouldn't they feel I was thinking about that. They would feel they'd feel Orso's death, wouldn't they?
They should.
It just ended. It ended. It ended.
We have Orsoisms, and now we have Danielleisms.
Yeah, I think the ending for me was just, I couldn't even think about it because what followed it was too distracting and upsetting for me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, don't even remember that, not important, too much trauma.
Well, and so this is going to become a war, a much broader war, which we knew that was going to happen, but like, I thought it was very interesting how in the first book things seem so dire. It just seems so dire. Like this is the end of things. And this book, it compounded that these things that in last book seemed in the previous book seemed big were just so much bigger in this book. Like the danger seemed like, oh, that last book, that wasn't actually that dangerous. Now all of a sudden you're dealing with a whole city that's sentient and wants to kill everything and kill everybody, and it's not a very friendly city. This isn't like the city we became. I mean, not all those cities were friendly either, but they were better than this city. Yeah, I was like, oh wow, it's a very unhappy city. Why is it so angry?
I mean, if I'd been abused the way the Campos had abused me, I'd be pretty pissed as well.
Well, yeah. I guess that's right. But to want to kill everything that makes you what you are? Like, without people, you're not going to be a city. You're just going to be a structure. Or a collection of structures that are dead. Hollowed out. Alone.
Gregor!
Oh.
Yeah, there is a lot more. Like, I feel like the last one, the first book, we left with questions.
Mm-hmm.
But we could see some projection of where we were going. Whereas for this, no idea. No clue. I have no idea what we're about to walk into.
We're sailing to the Locklands, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought that had something to do with Clef.
That must
have to do with Clef.
It was messing with my head, like how similar. It was messing with my head how similar Locklands and Lamplands are, because there were Lamplands in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really liked that they started like a communal library of knowledge.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Too. I did like that.
And like they charged their fee, but
well, I mean, they had to still survive.
That's also, yeah.
Well, and it just showed you what good things Orso was doing and trying to do, and like I love seeing Orso's character have this shift from last book. You know what I mean? Like, and towards the end of last book, obviously we saw many more qualities in him that were honorable. But just seeing like him transform into such a caring, if not still cranky person, like I just appreciated him more and more and more. Which I didn't expect that in the first book because I was frustrated with him a lot of the time. I was like, he's such a jerk.
Yeah.
But he was almost like the best thing for everybody.
How long is that book, Paige?
Hmm?
Is that Locklands?
No. Shorefall.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
According to Goodreads, Locklands is 544 pages.
$541 pages. Look how pretty it is. Look, is that a heart? No.
Pretty. I feel like we're going to get along. See, for me, looking at that cover, I'm like, that is the door into the world.
The world. The in-between.
Yeah. The in-between.
For sure.
I just reread the quote and now I'm trying not to cry again.
What? Oh.
You have both done great works, he said aloud to her. He kissed her on the brow. Go forth and do many more. And like, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Stupid old people being cute.
I know.
I hate this stupid book.
I mean, that's all he wanted to be able to do. It was so lovely that he was able, they found, after losing his love, he was able to find a family to love and to support and to care for. You know what's annoying? Look.
I had noticed that.
That's annoying.
That's rude. Who's the publisher down on the...
Del Rey. Look,
both Del Rey?
Like, you got this... Yeah, they're both Del Rey.
Weird. Because I'm thinking about ordering those editions, but I'm like, I want them to match. So Shorefall and Locklands.
Yeah, I kept telling myself that has to come back because the third book is called Locklands.
Yeah. Yeah, no, their printing sizes is just different. So on Amazon, Shorefall is 12.95 centimeters. Or
why would they do that?
Which one's taller for you?
Locklands. And it's also wider. Yeah,
so Shorefall is 12.95 by 20 by 20.07 centimeters, and Shorefall's 13.8 centimeters and 20.93 centimeters.
That was a choice.
Well, maybe I won't get those versions.
They're so pretty, though.
The hardcover for them are $110. Like,
oh dear. Each? Or as a set?
No, each.
No.
Yeah, the hardcover is $96 for Shorefall. Hardcover for Locklands is $110.75, and Foundry side is $216.75 on Amazon. That hurts. Foundry side trilogy box set. You want to come not hurt me? Oh no, they still want to hurt me. Okay, never mind.
Are you going to read the next one, Danielle?
Yes.
You don't feel any pressure, honestly. Like, I want you to feel like you still love all of us so much.
It's fine, you guys. I'm cleansing my palette with Dragonhaven this month.
Okay, good. I just don't want you to feel bad, and then
I'm not gonna make any promises that I'm gonna like it any better, but
Oh,
I
of course
mean,
not. Yeah, no.
I do feel it's important to read it so that I can share my honest opinion.
And if you get partway through and you're just not vibing, like it's
If we have another chapter 18 experience.
yeah,
What happened in chapter 18?
That was the
box, the
the
walls.
invisible box
Oh,
thing.
right.
Yeah. I was so upset because I felt like I thoroughly understood it when Claudia was explaining it. And then we
Oh,
got
when it
to the
actually was
actual
happening.
scene where it's
Yeah.
being implemented and used, and I'm like,
What do you mean?
yeah.
Did y'all have any orsoisms?
Oh, let me see. There weren't as many,
No.
like
On this one, yeah.
what's
There was
the
the one that was like, she was like, when Sanjio was saying, help, like, if things go tits up, and he's like, run like hell, got it. And she's like, no, I meant come and get me, asshole. No,
I actually,
I mostly wrote.
there were quite a few things that I highlighted. Page 16, self-indulgent bullshit, grumbled Orso, absolute twaddle.
Twaddle's a good word.
Let's see.
Gives me the screaming memes.
This was me explaining the magic to myself. Page 25, and bring a lexicon's definitions with it. And then I wanted to know what lexicon definitions were. Portable magic without risking the valuable definition plate. That's what I wrote. The rice and beans.
Yes. Yeah, look at page.
Geo made a good one. It was so in this metaphor, he was talking to Orso. So in this metaphor, said Geo, you're a drunk throwing balls.
Yes, I like that one. That was yep. I like that one a lot. I feel like there was one that I really liked too, and I can't remember what it was, but I don't think it was an orsoism.
Orsoism.
Orsoism. Did I write it down somewhere? Because for a while I was the first person in the chats.
But it is a regrettable thing that in order to fix a monstrous world, one must become a little monstrous.
Oh yeah. No, it was. Don't be too intimidated. You've already got the first step to being the old me taken care of. I do. Yes, you're covered in shit. When Faye twins.
That was good. Yeah,
that was funny. I love that. That made me laugh out loud.
I had another one that was
Oh, here's Tara says, you say you're better, but you're the dumb SOB who made her in the first place.
There was one from Gregor that was, we intend to start an inferno, yet fires do not care about who they burn.
It's true.
And then, of course, whatever happens, I don't want to lose this because together we are unstoppable. No, because together we are one.
Yeah, I loved that. Yeah.
Discussion doing the same Dennis page.
She passed one couple furiously copulating on the doorstep of a shop. Both of them half undressed with tears in their eyes. Just one more time, whispered the woman. Just. Oh.
We're gonna die. That's your instant reaction.
Oh, and I shared in the Discord about the thing that Ophelia said to Berenice and how I was like, this is foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm. Where was
About
that?
one day, girl, you two might have to choose between the unimaginable and the irredeemable, and no matter what choice you make, it will haunt you for the rest of your days.
I
There
did
were
think.
so many. Oh, sorry.
No. I was gonna say I did really think it was interesting how our lower bad guys, the lower end bad guys in both of these books were kind of like jilted women. Not jilted, but like they were treated terribly by their family members. They were incredibly intelligent and should have had a lot more sway within their campos, but they were either had husbands that were really awful or families that were really awful, and weren't given freedoms that they might otherwise. Actually, they both had horrible husbands, and they weren't given the freedoms that they might otherwise, or they earned. They would have earned otherwise because they were such intelligent women, and so they turned to these like really incredibly desperate measures, because that was true for Estelle in the first book too.
Mm-hmm.
They both were the ones that set everything off in this whole situation. But Ophelia's, I wouldn't say Estelle's was ever honorable, like her reasonings. But I feel like the reasonings behind setting off all this really awful stuff was not the same as a lot of the people, the other like campo leaders and the men in his stories. Like that it was interesting that they were the ones that have really caused all the problems in Tavane and really caused all the problems with the Campos. And Campos aren't running the way they're supposed to because of the men and the way they've ruled in a sense. But the people that actually caused the biggest problems were these women who've been treated horribly, and not like they did it intentionally to cause the biggest problems, but they set off the biggest reactions in a way.
Mm. It's really interesting that majority of these majority of the characters are female, like the steak makers. And
yeah, whether good or bad. Yeah.
And you see all sides of the coins in, you see Sancha, who wants to help free enslaved people. You have women who are wanting to try and be accepted for being the geniuses that they are. And then you have Ophelia, who like orchestrated her husband's murder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But in some ways, these women's experiences are so similar. It's just their reaction that's different. Like their experiences aren't that much different. It's just how they've responded to it that has which I think is fascinating. Like you said, different sides of the same coin in a lot of ways.
Which is why I think I love Sancha and Bernice, because they are what I hope I would be in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would hope I wouldn't have an Estella or Ophelia or Valeria approach.
Yeah, approach.
But,
right.
And I think that's why I've ended up loving Orso so much, because he just accepts everyone as they are. He sees them for the talent that they have, not for a political point, not because they're a woman. Like, he was like, it's a shame, because if Estelle had have been by my side and not trodden down and so disrespected, we could have changed the world together.
Mm-hmm.
But no one gave her the voice or the agency where he is actively trying to.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Well, I think that's why he loved Bernice so much as like his mentee, because that is what he wanted to. That is how he wanted to propel Estelle forward during their time together, and he couldn't. So he got the opportunity to do it right, in a sense, with Bernice. What were you going to say, Danielle?
whenever we were like reading quotes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I like several of my quotes that I highlighted that I didn't read aloud are like stuff either Gregor said or stuff that like was just narrated and like revealed about him. And I think this is a huge part of why I am so bent out of shape. Like, I am so upset. Like, I want to see his, and I even said that in the Discord. Like,
Mhm.
I want to see his happy ending, like, so bad. And it's just like the hell that we're going through to get there is
Painful.
just, yeah, it's just almost more than my little heart can take. Seriously.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like he deserves it more than anybody. Like, just because he's the most innocent in a lot of ways, right? He's the most naive. He's the most, I don't know. I mean,
Pure of heart. I mean,
yes, pure of heart. That's maybe like,
yeah.
what happened there, Paige?
Oh,
My library doesn't have Lachlan's.
oh no. Oh no.
Good thing I work there and I can put in a purchase request for it.
That's right.
But I don't know if it's going to come
Price
in
is
by May.
loaded. Do you have
Because
Everand or anything?
Yeah. It's just I've enjoyed
The physical.
Reading.
immersion reading. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that or I'll just cave and buy the third one and then eventually buy the first two. Because I've got like quotes that I'll go back through and highlight anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like I know that I
not
want to
be
own them
ordering this
eventually.
Torture fest.
Yeah, but I totally understand that, Danielle, because honestly, this book was so unfair to Gregor. And I know that was the intention because, like, you know,
He still doesn't
but
deserve it.
yeah. And, you know, give somebody else a chance to be beat up a little bit.
I just thought of something I wanted to ask you guys. I was talking to Chaz about these books and like not giving anything away, but just
Mhm.
like talking about like generalizations. And he said it sounds like this is grimdark. Do you think this is grimdark?
It's pretty gory. I
The
don't think it's
descriptions
considered
do
dark.
lean. Let's see. Founders side.
Like
Grimdark.
my belief, or at least what I have been told grimdark is that there's not really any sympathetic characters, or like there's just not. It's pretty bleak all the way through, and the characters are pretty bleak too. I could be wrong, and semantics too, right? I think when it comes to that sort of thing, also.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So it came up a couple of times, but it's not coming up when you just search for grimdark. It's a subgenre of fantasy characterized by its bleak, morally ambiguous setting and themes. Explore themes of despair, conflict, and the darker aspect of human nature, often highlighting the futility of good versus evil.
I don't think it's that.
It tends to be cynical in nature. Grimdark is a subgenre that thrives on moral ambiguity, gritty realism, and a sense of unrelenting bleakness.
I know I've heard that the Poppy War could be kind of considered grimdark, and that I feel is a lot more grim than this. This has more lighthearted moments than, and the characters are a lot more hopeful in a lot of ways, aside from Gregor. I mean, Gregor's such a wonderful character, but
Interesting. Yeah.
poor Kronk.
I think it has aspects of it, and I don't think people would be remiss to put it in as grimdark, but personally I don't feel like it goes dark enough. The Lies of Loch Lomoro is counted as grimdark, and that had elements of humor to it.
Humor and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not the humor, but
because the themes are pretty damn dark. Like, Oh, Kings of the Wilds shelved as grimdark? No. No.
I haven't read that one yet, but I don't, based on what I've heard about it, I wouldn't consider it.
Yeah, I think people are just putting it as if it's a dark fantasy. I think because it does have really dark themes exploring the dark side of humanity. And
you don't shy away from those dark things.
Yeah.
Like in Poppy War, there's some really awful
scenes. Some of the descriptions are pretty grim in describing it. Personally, it doesn't fit quite right in my heart to describe it as a grim dark fantasy. I'd more lean to calling it a steampunk.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels more sci-fi to me than just fantasy. Which then, yeah, the steampunk elements, totally.
Yeah. In all technicality, it can fit into it, but
I wouldn't use it as a definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened to Estelle? Was she killed? Remember, she was like,
she died at the same time her dad died.
It was the thing that Gregor got her with at the very end, and she was gonna survive because she was doing that she would have survived if that whole process had gone through, but Sanchia ended it right at the end when
in the middle of that ritual. Yeah.
Right. She did the thing where she went inside Clef's thing and did the thing and the thing. Gregor's standing there following the commands, but every time. And that is also what made Gregor such there's something about having all your agency taken away from you, and you're made to do something so horrific that your physical body is made to do that thing, and you have zero control. Like, you can't even kill yourself in a sense. Like, I mean, that sounds really awful, but like, you don't have the control to even end yourself. Like, you have zero control over anything, and all you
line
can do
what
is
he
sit there and
said.
watch that happen.
He was like, "Is it awful that I hope this one sticks?"
Yeah.
And like, I'm actually really glad we had this whole discussion tonight, because, as I said before, I'm starting to wrap my brain around why I am so angry.
Yeah.
And I think,
in
a way, like, full respect to how you feel is how you feel. But I also think it takes a lot of talent to make you this angry.
I agree. I'm not detracting from that at all. No, I agree.
But at the same time, it's also like, I didn't enjoy this and I'm fucking mad.
Good job. You infuriated me. Way to be. Keep doing that.
I'm just mad. And yeah, I mean, it was, there was no, so I guess Gregor was the grimdark character. It's not maybe a grimdark book, but his experience is definitely grimdark. Like, I would totally classify his experience.
Bleakness.
Yes, absolutely. Totally.
When he's hoping he'll die even though he can't.
Yeah.
Like,
yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
My soul.
Yeah, steampunk fantasy.
I've got the definition if you want it.
Yeah, what is the definition?
So steampunk is a subgenre of science fiction that incorporates retro-futuristic technology and aesthetic inspired by but not limited to 19th century industrial steam-powered machinery. Which I feel like that this is a steampunk.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about foundries.
Yeah. I would say, like, I didn't even think about it that way, Paige. I thought of it more like, this is a sci-fi fantasy. But when you say it like that, like, even though this wasn't a classical Victorian era steampunk kind of fantasy story, it was, though. Like, it was still set. I felt like the setting felt like that era anyways, like, even if it's not in our world. So totally. Like, I just didn't even put two and two together when it came to that. So that's cool. Yeah.
And, everyone's going to take away with different series and labels and things like that. Like, some people might read this and go, I don't find the parts that we find funny. So it is a grimdark because it is unrelentingly sad. Whereas for us, we're like, can't really be great. Cat tuning.
Oh my gosh.
Came right up
hello to Isaac.
Hello, Isaac. Hello, Fitz.
Good timing.
That's too funny.
Wow.
Perfect
you
timing.
guys. Couple
Oh my
of
god,
ham
what a majestic
bones.
little beastie.
The ham bones are in the house.
Look, Isaac, right here.
Hi, Isaac.
I don't know if I can get him to put his face over here. Hey.
Oh, good.
Hey.
Look at the little faces. Oh, there we
Come here, Isaac.
Oh, look at the little snooty snoot. That was hilarious. Isaac does not look enthused to be alive right now.
Look right here. Look.
Oh, so handsome.
There you are.
No.
And
You're
if that
supposed to be
didn't
up there.
feel
What
like
am I
a scene
doing?
in Founders Side, with breaking up the comedic relief, I don't know what would.
Oh. Yeah, and it is a harder book to talk about too because it is in the middle. So like we don't have all those questions answered. And there are a lot of questions, especially after this book, more so than the first book. Well, and especially considering what happened.
I think also in a way, like, I understand your frustration with it as well, because for a lot of series, I'm very much the proponent that each book should be able to stand on its own. Like, the series itself, it has its own overarching themes and all of that, and throughout the books we get to explore more, but each book needs to stand on its own to be a good book in a series.
Yeah.
And this doesn't really, because there are more questions than answers. We tie things up together, but then we're left with so much else open. And when you're wanting one particular thing and it keeps not happening and it just makes more and more depression and sadness, it's hard because you're relying on the third book to tie it all together.
Yeah.
I still rated this higher than Founders Side. But
and I was gonna say, when I do rate them, I try to rate them individually. I'm not as good with that with like Hob, like because she just basically gets 5 stars no matter what she does ever. But
yeah, I feel that. But she was one that I was thinking of where I feel like each book does stand on its own.
Does it? Yeah, I guess you're right. You get some kind of resolution at the end of each book. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You have enough questions to want to go into the next one, but you're not going into the next one to get answers.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Like the second book, they always have like this big thing that we're leading up to, and you know that you're going to get it in the third one, but you can leave it going, okay, I feel good. Mm-hmm. I'm not confused. I'm ready just to go into the next one because I'm so in love with this world and the writing and seeing these characters that I'm excited to go into the next one because I want to go into the next one, not because I need to know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Which for me is like where my series lie. It's like, is the next book just going to be something that I want to get into, or have I felt manipulated to need to go into the next book to get the answers because this one didn't do it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's I'm like Robert Jackson Bennett. I feel like is going to be my new favorite author. So
but that's why they create cliffhangers.
Yeah,
which sucks for books like. Speaking of which, I just read a little bit of The Dark Mirror. Not just now, but a couple days ago, I started reading a little bit of it, and then I ended up going in a different direction with my current reads. But I have plans to read it anyways soon because I need to. But that was one where like she left John cliffhangers at the end, or it depended on the book. It wasn't every single one. So I don't know. Sometimes I like that though.
Okay.
Danielle gave Shorefall 2-star, and so I was just saying
she's telling on me.
Series needs to stand like as there, and she's like, yes, that makes sense, and I'm like, okay, got it. We got there.
You're getting tattletaled on.
I hadn't let Ash know where we got up to with it because I still reckon he's going to devour the series, but I could be wrong.
He hasn't started at all.
No. He read, what did he read? Around the World in 80 Days.
Oh yeah, I've read that.
Absolutely adored it.
It was great. It was great. What did I get?
And then he started reading Toto by A.J. Hackworth, which is the Library of the Unwritten's author. She's done one that's Toto's perspective from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And so he's going to read that. And then I think he was then going to try the Divine Comedy, like Hell, read the first book of the Library of the Unwritten, read Purgatory, read The Archive for the Forgotten, read Paradise, and read The God of Lost Words.
Oh, wow.
And then maybe dive into Foundry Side.
I gave Around the World in 80 Days 4 stars. It was so fun. That's a fun little book.
Yeah. And that's what he was saying. Like, he also really appreciated that, like, the protagonist was very autistically coded.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Really?
And he'd just read out these sections and he'd be like pissing himself laughing, and then I'd read out a section of my book being pissing myself laughing because what did I read? Someone's dick got described. And they're like, oh God, put it away. I'm going to need therapy. Oh, that's right. I was reading Undercover Bromance and they have a Russian in it. And I was listening to the audiobook and the Russian goes, I think I shit myself. Because it's lactose intolerant but loves eating dairy.
Oh.
And I was just like crying with laughter. And I was just like, are you okay? And I'm like, the Russian shit himself. So, yeah. That's where we're currently up to with reading.
I love that. Well, what was I saying? Oh, Dark Mirror. I'm very excited about it. So should I put a thing up in Discord for it?
Yeah, if you want to. I wonder if we should put if we put that up, but also have you know how we have the general spoiler-free chat. Mm-hmm. Do one that has the anniversary edition spoiler chat. So if people are reading the rewrites, they can go in and put in anything that they've noticed that's different if people want to be spoiled for that as well before going into Dark Mirror.
On those different channels that we already have set up for those ones, make a different folder that says anniversary edition spoiler.
Yeah. Or just how you have Dark Mirror as the category, and in that category have just anniversary edition.
Okay.
Rewrite spoilers or something. So then people, if they want to go in before reading Dark Mirror and spoil themselves or see any changes, they can. But if no one's reading them, then it doesn't matter and they can just talk about Dark Mirror.
Okay. Because I didn't get the feeling we were going to do it as a group necessarily. But we still wanted to share our thoughts and opinions on it, right? Because am I wrong?
Yeah. Okay. And I think because we're just going to get to it as we get to it. Because I don't know when I'm going to get to it.
Should I still do chapter sections for people like me who actually talk in all the chapter sections? Or should I...
Is it going to spoil anything for you to do it?
For me?
Yeah. Setting up the different chapters.
No. I mean, I do that all the time with all the books.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember if their chapter headings were
Oh. I don't think so. No, and I usually just ignore that. I just look to see how many chapters there are, and then I
divvy up.
So I usually just
up to you.
Sorry, just random. Was thinking about that because
it's exciting. Yeah.
And it started out well, so I was like, ooh.
Oh, good. Ooh.
By the way, my work book club is reading Hello Beautiful from the author Dear Edward. It reminded me of Danielle.
Oh, is it good? Did you start it yet?
Hello Beautiful.
I think it was the author of Dear Edward part because we read Dear Edward together.
Is that in Napolitano?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the one.
Dear Edward. How was that?
It's good. We both liked it.
Oh, it's that cover. It's got the lady's
Oh.
face on it, and half of it's cream and half of it's green.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's the Hello Beautiful cover.
Thank you, Jean.
We are reading it for April, so I haven't started it yet. I will let you know if I recommend it. Awesome.
I like that. I like that. Jean recommends.
I love it.
How are we feeling about TBR Trail
Yeah.
reads?
Oh. I'm
Well,
almost halfway through my second book.
Nice.
I don't know if I don't know if I want to let that centaur know how I'm doing or not
That's
doing.
That's fine.
I'm just
Your
kidding.
3 points here and there is
I'm
not
just
going to change anything.
Oh.
Oh, she
did
went there.
not.
Oh, she went there.
Oh,
You know, I can see your chat anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Ooh, I'm glad we
Tara!
got some centaurs. Go centaurs. Go centaurs.
Oh my.
You know, I was really
Oh, wait,
dumb.
I shouldn't be
because
clapping.
Yeah, why are you clapping? Oh.
I thought she
I
was
was really dumb
dumb.
because I picked really big books. Like, what did I do that for? I think Dark Mirror is one of them.
2.
I think that's actually going to read fast, though. I think Dark Mirror will actually, when I actually get to it, it'll read fast.
Yeah, I've done 2. So, here's the thing, right? This is real side tangent. So, we've got Magical Readathon, right? I got a list. I got Storygraph challenges coming out of my ears, right? My Patreons then get a tie for me doing a vlog, which is binge reading authors off of my shelves that I have 3 or more books from them, and also fruit on the cover.
What?
So then I look at that and I'm like, great, I can't combine any of these with anything. With the TBR Trail, I get 2 extra books because of the group book and then the TBR scroll. And then I'm looking for a
You need to
romance book.
tell these Patreons that we are in a competition, okay? And so their requests are going to have to wait.
But like, get this. So I'm going, okay, if I can get a romance that has the last letter of M and has a fruit on the cover, I'd be grand. Because I can just throw that into the floor. Do you know what there is? It's Midnight Sun by Stephanie.
I was going to say. That was what I was going to say.
I don't want to read that.
Imagine how fast it would read, though.
My sanity. I have none.
There's got to be other books with M that have a fruit on the cover. Let me look at my books.
A romance. Oh, sure. I took some screenshots of some floating around.
Number 6, the Nightingale, so that's going to take a bit. Yeah, and it'll be sad.
Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller.
Which
is the first of the Monster and Muses series. It has a 3.51. It is it's a lower rating than Midnight Sun.
How many actual reviews though?
69,107.
Oh, well, that's more than I would have thought. Hey, I'll tell you something. As like a slight spoiler for my Herky lowest rated books. Sometimes those ratings don't mean anything.
That's true.
Yes. Actually, okay, so I am going to say something about something that I'm reading. I'm reading.
My screen just went blank. Uh-oh, I hope I'm not going to lose you.
I'm reading Cicadas Sing of Summer Graves by Quinn Connor, I think. And so it's 2 authors, but that's the name that they go by. And it's supposed to be, it was like in my bottom 5. But so far, I'm like, this is going to be a 5-star. Like, what is happening right now? People don't know what they're talking about.
It is nice when that happens.
I love that so much.
That's really good. Yeah, because I'm having that experience big time. Maybe not 5 stars, but like.
Oh, it's reading like a 5-star. It's reading like it's got the Danielle descriptions. It's got like the overly descriptive descriptions. It's got like, just I am like I'm there. I'm immersed in like all of the sensory everything, and I am like,
It's a Danielle
God.
book.
Yeah, it's a Danielle book. It is.
That's so good.
I'm very excited.
I love that.
If I give it anything less than 5 stars, I will let you know. But 3 chapters in, I'm like 5 stars.
Oh, I love that feeling.
Yes.
Especially at the beginning of a book.
Yeah.
Such a good vibe.
Have you read The Interrogation of a Charlotte Wolf by Amberlynn Qualamina, either of you? Look at that.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it. The Interrogation. Sorry. No, a Charlotte Wolf.
Do you recommend?
I do think both of you would really like it because I've just finished it.
On our Bestest Peeps chat, and then I'll add it to mine.
Interrogation. Apparently, I don't know how to spell interrogation.
That's all right. I've only just learned because I've had to type it 6 times.
How do you spell it?
Oh Lord, sorry about that.
I found it.
He's cleaning things.
The Tribe. Amberlynn Qualamina.
So they're
not very many readers.
No, they're a First Nations Australian author, and it was just so fun. It was very reminiscent of like Divergent and the Hunger Games.
Ooh.
And like it was 395 pages. I didn't have access to the audiobook, and I read 300 of it yesterday.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just, and I'm like, I feel like Amy would be great for, well, it's like.
Oh, for kids. Yeah, for the kiddos.
But,
might be a little too older than my little elementary kids.
The little ones. But, and I feel like I haven't read The Prison Healer yet, but I will this year. I will be.
Amy, are you reading it?
It's sitting here.
Oh, what do you think? It's going to read itself?
Look how close it is to me.
What do you think? You're just going to absorb it through the skin?
I mean,
osmosis, right?
You know how many books are on my current TBR?
Pish posh.
1,861.
No, I mean my immediate TBR. Like everything I need to read right, now.
212.
No. Let's see. Actually, I'm curious.
My lovelies, I'm going to have to roll soon.
13. I'm ignoring that.
Yeah.
Probably about 25.
That's company, and I told her an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I have a 24-hour readathon I have to fail, so I totally get it.
See, I'm helping you. I
don't have anything to do except distract Amy, so.
Well, and I can go and you can keep talking. Just don't talk about me.
That's fine.
No. Of course not. Well, I mean, do we have anything else we need to actually say about Shorefall?
All we need to say is, Gregor.
Justice for Gregor.
We're going to see this through to the end.
Justice for Gregor.
Justice for Gregor. I love that. New t-shirts, guys.
New shirts.
Justice for Gregor.
Yes. BookStara wants Justice for Gregor.
We'll get it on the back.
Yeah. Oh, we should do that on the back.
You guys are going to fall out of your chairs when I get on this next live show with Justice for Gregor on my back. Oh.
Yeah.
Hashtag. Yes.
Yes. Justice for Gregor. Oh, where'd it go? Well, I hope everyone has a wonderful time reading the next book. We are going to be over on Danielle.
Oh my goodness. See, I can't bail. I have to do the thing. Oh my gosh.
Charge next time. So yeah.
Okay.
No,
we're going to hang out on BookStara.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. And in May. It's going to be May.
Yes.
It's gonna be my.
Well, okay. Well, everyone, I'm excited that we still have more to come, and it'll be interesting to see what actually happens. We're hoping we get justice for Gregor, and let's hope that. Oh, and I will put up the channel for the next one
Tara.
sooner rather than later, because I know we have a whole month in between, but some people might want to start it on early. Oh, what? So we're gonna have 3 shows in May: the mid-month reading sprints, our live show, and then the after celebration.
Perfect.
It may also be the Give Danielle a Pep Talk, mid-month reading sprints, and then we finished it celebration. Could be.
Could be that too.
Love it.
Thank you everyone so much for coming, and we will see you later. Oh, I gotta end it. I always forget that that's my job.
Wrong side.